Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar on Meridian's Personnel Management Kiosk. My name is Melissa Harvard and I am our marketing coordinator here at Meridian. Also on our Meridian panel today, we have Paul Worden, our Director of Software. The webinar is going to consist of a hardware and software overview, and at the conclusion of the overview, we will have a question and answer session. So if you have any questions, feel free to submit them at any time. You don't have to wait until the end of the webinar, but all questions will be addressed at the end of the webinar. Also, another question we get frequently is whether or not the webinar will be recorded. It will be recorded, and a copy of the webinar will be sent out to all attendees 2 hours after the conclusion of the webinar. To get started, just a little bit about Meridian. Meridian is a fully integrated manufacturer of indoor and outdoor kiosks, interactive digital signage, and self-service software. We develop all of our products and services under one roof, and we design, engineer, manufacture, and integrate hardware and software solutions. At our Aberdeen, North Carolina facility, we have a full-scale production facility, a 13-acre manufacturing campus, a full metal fabrication facility. We are ISO 9001:2015 certified, a UL self-certified facility, experts in ADA, FCC, and HIPAA compliance, and we have a full software development team in-house that sits in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Additionally, we also have a franchise in the UK for anyone who may be in the Europe or UK region and interested in purchasing a PMK. Jumping right into the hardware. Meridian's Personnel Management Kiosk is designed to protect the health and safety of employees and their guests by helping to prevent anyone with an elevated temperature or those without access from entering a facility. Some of the high-level features of the solution include temperature verification, facial identification, temperature threshold alarms, and the unit is comprised of an anodized aluminum finish and is available in pedestal and will soon be available in a countertop configuration. The pedestal configuration is the version of the Personnel Management Kiosk that is currently available. You'll see that it's dual-sided, so one side is rounded and the other side is flat. The head unit is on a swivel, so you can have whichever side facing out that you prefer. This unit is also available with a graphic wrap option that can be customized with your branding, logos, or messaging. As I mentioned, the countertop unit is not yet currently available, but will be available in the near future. Similarly to the pedestal version, it's dual-sided, rounded on one side, flat on the other, and also available with a graphic wrap option. Jumping into the hardware side of the Personnel Management Kiosk, each Personnel Management Kiosk comes equipped with a custom-built board-level software solution already installed on the unit. Some of the features of that board-level software solution include LAN or Wi-Fi connectivity, a 0.9 degree Fahrenheit temperature variance, the ability to recognize up to 20,000 faces, and the ability to integrate with voice prompts. This is just a screenshot of what the back end of that board-level solution looks like if you were to pull up the settings on the unit itself. Some of the capabilities that I've touched on a bit earlier are body temperature test. You have the ability to toggle on or off to disable the temperature reading feature on the kiosk. A compensation temperature calibration, which offsets the red temperature and can help calibrate the unit to account for environmental changes. An alarm threshold, which can be indicated in degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, and indicates the value at which the alarm is triggered. A body temperature alarm, which dictates whether or not an alarm will sound when a user exceeds the temperature threshold. Mask detection, which can be turned on or off. If a user checks in without wearing a mask and mask detection is turned on, they'll be denied entry until they put on a mask, even if their temperature is normal. And finally, stranger mode. With stranger mode off, strangers or unauthorized guests will be denied access by the kiosks, and only registered users will be allowed to enter. Once you register faces of employees or recognized guests on the kiosk, this is what the back end of that screen looks like. Employees or other approved visitors can be easily added to this face database in a matter of seconds. And some of the informational fields that are collected include a name, a type, staff or visitor, expiration date, as well as a picture for facial recognition. So all of the software that we just went over is the board level software solution that comes on every personnel management kiosk. M0 Manage is Meridian's remote management software. It's currently in development, designed specifically to integrate with the PMK, and offers a variety of enhanced features that complement the existing board level software. M0 Manage is able to be accessed from any computer connected to the internet and allows kiosk administrators to remotely manage all of their PMK deployments from one central location. The screenshot that you see on this slide is an example of what the M0 Manage view backend would look like if you pulled it up on a desktop computer or laptop. Some of the features of M0 Manage, once released, will include the ability to upload and edit a list of employees and their pictures, the ability to log temperatures, send email alerts, retrieve reports, view temperature scans and images, determine if kiosks are online and connected to the server, change in-app settings and configurations, add kiosk groups, and access a dashboard portal with rolling security view and real-time scans and updates. Again, this is another screenshot of what that M0 Manage view would look like. That concludes the summary of the hardware and software overview for the PMK. As I mentioned, we will now be having question and answer sessions. So if you do have any questions, feel free to start submitting them now, and I will read them aloud and we'll get those answered. Our first question asks, does the PMK hold data, pictures, etc.?
Yes, it holds, in a standalone mode, it will hold the pictures and entry data. So it records and holds the employees if you have stored them in the database for recognition purposes. And it will also store the information if you do an entry scan, so the photo and the temperature. That said, if you connect it to the M0 Manage, there's actually a mode that will only store it in the device if it can't upload to the managed server, but will delete any data entry scans that were created if they're successfully uploaded. So it will only store if it's unable to upload them. And that way, with those features turned on, it won't retain any scan history on the kiosk because it's present in the server's database.
Next question asks, what are the options for uploading pictures and data?
You'd have to create, if you have a standalone kiosk, you have to create the pictures and employee information if you want to recognize employees in the employee photo entry section of the menu. So you'd have to store your employees' faces there. If you have a central management server, M0 Manage, you'll be able to create and import photos from sources. So for instance, you can add and upload an individual photo and create a name and employee ID, or you can batch import them.
Next question asks, when will the software be available for remote exporting?
That's M0 Manage, and we are signing up customers now, but you'd have to join the beta program. I think if you email sales, we can see about adding you to the beta program. And there is an export button that's in the report. So you would log into the Personnel Manage and press the export. There's also, if you have a standalone kiosk, there's an export button. for connecting USB as well. So for those who are not M0 managed subscribers, will still have the ability to export, but requires USB connections. So it'd be definitely easier as it aggregates your reports from multiple units through M0 manage.
Next question asks, will the PMK work with children in a school setting?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what age the person that's being scanned. It will scan faces and give you temperatures for those who are scanned. And it does face recognition if you enable that.
Next question asks, can you upload pictures to the individual kiosks and enroll when the user isn't present, or do users need to be present in order to enroll?
When standalone, without the supporting M0 managed server, you have to be present at the unit to enroll. So you'd have to take the photo there. If you have multiple units, you have to do that at each unit. If you have M0 manage, that's when you can import and propagate this amongst your units. So you can import a photo, provided that it meets the quality requirements for face recognition. It would automatically propagate to all your key accounts and kiosks on your account.
Next question asks, is there a size requirement for the pictures?
Yeah, there's a document that we can give you that determines the size and format required for the pictures.
Yeah, I actually pulled that up. It will be available for download on our website this afternoon. Just for an overview, the file cannot exceed 500 kilobytes in size and cannot exceed 4096 by 2688 pixels. But again, that will be available for download on our website on the PMK page underneath PMK resources. Next question asks, currently, the only way to manage the device is directly via the device. Is this correct?
Yeah, if you have a standalone device, yes. If you have M0 manage, you can manage it remotely. So that means settings, option employee photos, and then entry records would be uploaded to the manage.
Next question asks, is there a way to delete the stored information?
Yeah, in the most recent versions, I think version 2.0015, there's a delete button we've added to the entry report. So you can review and then press and delete entries, and it would clear all of the entry history. You have to do that manually though, so you could set up a policy where you every day check and clear the entry records. Again, as I mentioned earlier with the M0 manage, it can automatically delete whenever it's uploaded to the server, so it's only retained in the server.
Next question asks, is there any type of reporting with the system that can be provided to staff, such as HR, who want a record of daily entries, temperatures, etc.?
Yeah, so you can grant a login to somebody through M0 manage, and they'd be able to pull a report of all the entry data. I believe soon we will start attendance tracking functionality in there, which will allow you to change the role of specific devices to be entry and exit kiosks. And you can relate the entry session between those two, but it's not a feature that's ready yet. But in the meantime, you can use simply the scans to relate that information.
Next question asks, if we have a standalone kiosk, how do we import pictures?
You can't. You'd have to take the pictures at the device of the employee. So you'd have to have them stand there and take the photo. So it's a limitation of the standalone would be there's no import feature.
Next question asks, does M0 Manage come at an additional cost?
Yes, it's $295 per kiosk per year.
And next question asks, can the kiosks keep temperature reports on strangers when in standalone?
Yes, it can keep and retain optional, it's called stranger record. So you can go into the settings and turn that function on. By default, it's off. If you turn stranger record on, it will log the photo and the temperature of a stranger. As often people don't want that, so it allows you to also turn that feature off.
Next question asks, with a standalone kiosk, how are you able to manage the kiosk without M0 Manage?
Well, there's entry reports in a menu. So you'd be able to go to the menu and then view the entry reports. So there's a password and there's a service keyboard that ships with a unit. So you'd go press the center button, enter the password, and then go to entry logs. You'd be able to review all the entry logs and optionally export them. So you can connect a USB device and export the device, the log onto a USB drive, creates a flat file, which you can then import to Excel. It holds it holds 33,000 approximately entry records. So that could be a day or two or more, even a week, depending on how many people you have entering your facility.
Next question asks, if we bought a standalone kiosk, can we then buy M0 Manage to go along with it?
Yep, there would be an upgrade you have to do. You have to download 2.012 or better. And there's a knowledge base link you can go to download that software. And then when you enroll, you just need to enter username and password and turn the server configuration on.
All right, and that was the last question we had. Thank you to Paul and our Meridian panel for being here, and thank you to all of our attendees. If you do have any additional questions that come up later in the day, feel free to email sales@m0.com and we'll get those questions answered for you. And as I mentioned earlier, a recording of this webinar will be emailed to you 2 hours from now. Thank you all for attending and have a great rest of your day.